All right, everyone, my name is Jamie from T4 Survival. I'm here with Scott Allard and Michael Kahn answering some more questions off of our website and social media channels. What else we have?
Another popular question was, is there a best way to counter a knife attack with a handgun? If they're on top of you with a knife, there is no best way to do it. Actually, don't even bother going for your handgun. You want to engage the threat. Cause damage so you can get distance and maybe have an opportunity to go for your handgun.
You know, a lot of times you won't even be able to gain control of the weapon. So if the weapon is not being dynamic and moved around, it's just being placed towards your body, then it gives you a good opportunity to gain control of that weapon. Otherwise, if they're coming at you in a stabbing motion or slashing type motion, it's attack the attacker. It's go right after them with everything you've got, defending against that knife attack while simultaneously neutralizing that threat. Something that we really stress the importance on. A lot of people seem to have this false sense of security that they carry a firearm and they could draw that firearm if a knife attack happened, or even a machete or an axe attack or hatchet, or someone's coming at you with some type of edged weapon from a close range. The reality is you're not going to have time to draw that weapon. And even if you do and you get a couple of good shots off, they probably don't even know they've been shot yet and they're still alive, and if they have that will to try to get to you, they're most likely going to still be able to get to you. The only time you're going to be able to really just shut those lights off is if you were able to get that head shot, that raccoon shot right in the middle of the head, and the chance of actually successfully accomplishing that shot under that stress.
High stress and you're beating that reactionary gap,
yeah,
it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not. So you're gonna have to rely on your body, your environment to attack that attacker and neutralize the threat. Unless you have a lot of space, or maybe they're coming to attack you and they trip or fall, or they end up seeing somebody else that ends up being their victim before they get to you, and it allows you that reactionary time to be able to draw your weapon and get on target. That would be a different story.
And we're talking a lot of spaces, 30 feet plus. The 21-foot rule, as we know, is a fallacy, and even 30 feet's too close in that situation. So you don't have a lot of time, and if you do have that 30 feet and you have some environmental things you can use to put in between you and the threat, you can make time and make space to draw that weapon.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have that and you're not looking around and utilizing your environment, then you're going to have to go take care of that threat hand to hand.
And these are all just great things to talk about, but the reality is that you start thinking, okay, I can use things in my environment, but do you train using your environment? Do you train on what you can use to put between you and a person and actually grabbing that and see what it feels like in your hands? I think it's extremely important that you find a training center, an environment where you're able to put all of these things we're talking about into a skill set that you can really feel comfortable in using. Now, every environment's going to be a little bit different, but knowing the thought process that you could pick up a bar stool or a chair in a restaurant and being able to create some distance and space between you and that person and use that as a weapon as well to be able to defend yourself is extremely, extremely important.
And to piggyback off that, do you train under stress? Do you just go to the shooting range and shoot a still target and say, yeah, you know what, that's good? Do you train under stress? Stress inoculation is very important. The use of your fine motor skills under that type of stress when someone's killing you, you wouldn't even be able to tie your shoes. So you need to go find somewhere where you can train with some type of subdued stress, added stress, even if it's running up a flight of stairs or whatever. Do 20 push-ups before and then get into the altercation. Without that, you start stumbling around and you make bad judgment calls, bad errors, fumbling for the gun or whatever. So you need to train with stress inoculation.
If you're able to find a good training center, a good qualified instructor that can teach you these skills, please do so. Please make sure you take that effort, take the time out of your life, make the financial commitment to find a good instructor and get that level of training. You're always welcome to join us or message us if you'd like to join us for one of our training events. We have people from all over the country that travel out to our survival camp up here in Maine several times throughout the year to be able to have the opportunity to train with us, and we'd love to have you come join us at some point too. We have another question?
Anthony from Ohio asked, if you have a weapon, do you have to get involved in a violent encounter you witnessed? No, just because you have a weapon and you're witnessing something that's violent, there's nothing that says as a regular private citizen you have to get involved. That's a personal choice. That's the willingness to put yourself out there, and quite often just getting away or getting out of a situation where you didn't have to fight, that's a win. Just because you can fight doesn't mean you should.
Right. Again, that's a conversation you need to have with yourself when you get your pistol permit. do I want to get involved? Do I want to go through the ramifications of the aftermath of the incident?
Just getting good description of what the individual looks like, what are they wearing, what type of car did they get into, did you get the license plate of the vehicle, how many people were inside the vehicle, were there any weapons that you saw? All those details can be extremely important. Even the direction that maybe they pulled out of the parking lot and where they went can be an extremely big help to law enforcement and catching these individuals.
And if you're worked up thinking you're not going to remember anything, call 911 and give all that information as you're watching it over the phone. If they ask you for something that you may have said once before and you can't remember, you can't remember. Those lines are recorded. They can listen to them with a click of the button, even while they're on the phone with you. Some of these systems are able to do so. So there's plenty of information you can provide, and really, you don't have to fight. You don't have to be in it. Tom from Massachusetts asked, is it better to carry without a round chambered? Don't bother carrying a gun, in my opinion, then.
Again, it falls under that whole stress environment. You pull your weapon under stress, you're just going to go pull the trigger thinking something's going to happen when nothing's going to happen because you don't carry with one in the chamber. This way you don't forget in a life or death situation, that 1 second where that gun goes click, that could be the ultimate deciding factor whether you go home or not.
Well, why are you thinking along these lines is a good question.
Right.
Are you afraid that the weapon may discharge accidentally on its own?
Then you're not training with it enough.
Yeah, because you don't know
it's
your
not.
equipment. This is why we index. This is why, so we don't have a negligent discharge, so we don't have that flinch and accidentally fire the weapon. Your gun's just not going to go off. There's either a mechanical failure or an error on the user's part.
It's a loss of confidence. Right. If you're not carrying one in the chamber, you are not confident enough yet with your firearm and with your proficiency to be carrying that firearm. So therefore, train more. And maybe it's not time for you to start carrying yet. To get that training and build that confidence so that you know that gun is on your hip and you're carrying it as if it's your cell phone, your wallet. You know how to open your wallet and take out money and take out your credit card. You know how to unlock your cell phone and make a phone call. You know how to grab your weapon and index and get on target and pull that trigger if you need to. That needs to be the reality of you carrying a firearm, and that should be everyone's reality, and it's not. You need to train. You need to get into a qualified training center with qualified instructors, and you need to train.
There's no shame in saying to yourself, I'm not 100% comfortable, or I don't feel I'm competent enough or proficient enough to carry this firearm, even though I have it or own it. The basic NRA safety course for most people is required to get your permit in most, I think everywhere really, is a great start. It's not where you should end. It is literally the welcome to the world of firearms. Here are the safety, some safety tips. Here's how to operate them. You're not required to, but you should make it a requirement for yourself to seek out more advanced training within the first 6 months to a year after you have
100%.
it. And before you even carry that religiously or you carry it at all, you should have some higher level of training.
And when we say advanced training, it's training that's designed for that civilian that has just got their pistol permit and is now carrying a firearm. Or if you're in a state with constitutional carry, maybe you have a firearm that's been in a home for many years, or you purchased a firearm, but you're ready to take those steps to build the confidence to be able to carry that firearm for self-defense. I'd say a good 30% of each one of our training camps we have consists of people that have either just gone and filed for their pistol permit and gotten their first firearm, or someone that has a firearm inside their home that maybe was handed down to them or was given to them from a family member, and they haven't trained with it much. So
it's very common to hear, I've only shot a firearm 4 times.
Yeah, or I've gone to the range 3 times in the past 5 years. So when you hear us say advanced, it's advanced because it's taking you to the next level in your training, but don't think you're going into a SWAT school or into some very advanced tactical training type of atmosphere. You need to start with the basics and build your foundational skills, and then from there you can build up into different types of training environments. I know at our camps we go over the fundamentals, and then we have other camps where are a little bit more advanced, and you need to go through our fundamentals class before you can move into those more advanced curriculum, more advanced type of training environments. So again, look for a good, trustworthy, qualified training center and good qualified instructors. And if you're in the area of the country you're kind of unsure where to go, send us a message. Post it in the comments below, direct message us to our social media channels, or go to our website, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
We're big on the safety, but we're also very creative in our drills and our courses of fire, and again, practicing that concealed draw. Yeah, you could practice that at home once you make your weapon safe, but can you practice it on a range where you do the draw and you engage the target? Not necessarily. So it's something different. And again, like we're saying, if you don't want to come here, find somewhere, but come here because it's probably the best one around.
Yeah, it's
right?
probably the best training you're going to find. So if you have questions for us, do we cover all the questions we wanted to
The
for
ones
this
I have in
segment?
this segment, yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Post comments again below. Hit the like buttons on social media. Send us messages. We'd love to hear your questions, and maybe we'll feature them here on one of these video segments. Again, I'm Jamie from T4 Survival, along with
Mike Kahn?
Scott Allen.
We'll see you soon. And don't forget, T4 Survival, training for surviving the fight of your life.
I should have looked at my phone while you did that. That was kind of rude.
Well, let's do it again. And don't forget, T4 Survival, training for surviving the fight of your life.
Cut.